So how do you find more listing leads, right? So obviously the reason we're here today, and we have to first start and think about it for a second of going, okay, what kind of agent do I want to be? Okay. Do I want to be the kind of agent that is going to cold call and prospect and door knock and lead gen and do all these things? Or am I going to be more sphere based and more relationship based and more um, just really more into making those relationships and building my business that way? So I'm going to go through both. A lot of people, kind of dive into one. I try to hit every lead source because I think that they're all very important. So we're going to jump into it. Now, as we go into these, my little clicker's not working. There we go. So we have a lot to cover, so I'm going to go pretty quickly through a lot of them, and then the ones that I think are going to probably be the biggest game changers for you, I'll spend a little bit more time on. All right, so let's start with number 20, a buyer, seller, or a senior seminar, okay? Now, I've had a lot of success with these, especially in the past, and they're very easy to set up. So if you wanted to set up a seller seminar, all you have to do is start a Zoom link, right? If you're all on Zoom now, create your own Zoom link. If you want to do it COVID-19 style, eventually you can do it in person, invite them to your office, invite them to a community center or whatever it is. And you're going to do a couple of things here. To be able to have a successful one, I'm going to talk about the seller seminar, and then I'll go into the buyer and senior. So people are like, a seller seminar, who the heck would come to learn about how to sell their home? Well, the answer is a lot of people, because a lot of people right now are not planning on selling now, but maybe in a year from now, two years from now. And they want to make sure they understand the process from A to Z. So when you do a successful seller seminar, you would select a day. Usually you want to have about 45 days to pre-plan it, to make sure invitations go out, social media posts, doing all of the marketing. Then you're going to call your database. It's another great touch point. So you're going to call your database and say, hey, Tom, this is Brendan with XYZ Real Estate. Hey, I'm having this amazing seller seminar. We're going to have a stager there that's going to talk about things that you could do to stage the property to get it to be more sellable. We're going to have a general contractor on the Zoom call who's going to answer anything about what you should do to create more value, any remodel costs, if you should replace the kitchen, how much that might look like, everything that you would need to know. I'm going to have a lender on there so they can talk about all the different options for when you decide to sell and buy. And it's going to be fantastic. So I just wanted to reach out, see if you'll be able to make it. It's going to be on September 15th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. And then they'll say yes, no, whatever. Right? From there, you're going to go and just say, okay, great. If they say no, we have no interest. All right, well, while I've got you on the line, Susan, can I ask you, if it was the perfect situation, where would you guys go next? That's all you do. So now you're inviting them to your seminar, you're getting an update on what their status is. Then the last piece of this call for the seller seminar is, well, I appreciate you taking the time to think about it. I'm glad that now I know you guys are going to be moving once Johnny graduates high school in 2 years. Is there anyone else that you know that I could reach out to that might have interest in this seminar? So it's a 3-point checkpoint or 3 check down call, right? So you're calling to invite them, calling them to find out what their status is, and calling to see if anyone else knows, okay? The buyer call is very similar, right? Now, if you don't have a big database, you're just started in real estate today and you don't have a lot of leads, if you're trying to do this seminar, it's super easy and you don't have a lot of people, you can call the neighborhood, right? You can call neighborhoods and just invite them, right? You can use either a dialer, Kohl's directory, Mojo. We'll talk about these different things in a second. And just call up the neighborhood and say, hey, I do a lot of business here in Shenango. And I was calling all the neighbors because I'm putting on a really informative seller seminar. And that's your pitch, okay? Now, the buyer seminar is very, very similar to this, right? So same concept. You're having a buyer seminar. So you're going to call up and people are like, well, why would I call my sphere if they already own a home? You're going to call them up and say, look, I'm putting on an amazing buyer seminar. It's going to be for anybody that's interested in buying a property in the next 12 to 24 months. And I know you bought from me about 5 years ago. A lot of things have changed in the industry and a lot of that. Would love for you to attend. They say, I don't know. Great. When do you plan on moving? Great. Then you go on to your third check down, which is, do you know anybody that could utilize this seminar? Now, the target audience for you to also call or send mailers to invite people to on this one is apartment buildings, right? So every apartment building, you could send a handwritten note card to, letting them know about this seminar. You could send them a flyer. You could call them, right? And there's ways to access those phone numbers using Vulcan 7, Mojo, Kohl's directory. We'll talk about some of the dialer technology. So you basically want to get in front of anybody that might have interest in buying a home. Okay. Then the last one, the investor seminar, the super easiest one. Now, the way I like to do the investor seminar is to send, here's kind of a pro tip, send your database, especially your key database, right? Your A players, what I call your ambassadors, send them a book on buying an investment property. So you send them a book, right? And in there you put a little note or right on the inside of the book and say, hey, I love helping all my clients build wealth through buying real estate. I thought you'd find a lot of value in this book. That's it. You don't put anything about the seminar or anything else. You send that book ahead of time, then you call them with the invite. First of all, they're going to be thankful because anybody that receives a book thinks that that's a game changer. You can get paperback investor books for $10. You can buy them in bulk, get 50 for probably even less than that. It's still the fact that they're going, wow, this person cares about me building my wealth. Then when you make that invitation call, it's a lot easier for an investor seminar to get them interested into the situation. Now, with COVID right now, right? Like this is the best time to do this because in this situation, you're going, look, with everything that's unstable in the market, we know with the election coming up and all this, investment opportunities are going to be the best they've been in years. And I want to make sure you're ready for them. Think about it. That's a powerful call, right? So you should be doing from your database, especially, looking at how many people you have in your database, 5 to 10 deals without even blinking of investment properties a year. If you're not, start thinking about these techniques, okay? You could also do an investor happy hour if you really are, depending on your comfortability with the COVID situation, okay? So buyer, seller, and then the last one, I added investor on there, sorry, senior seminar. So senior seminar is still the same type of thing. How do you transition from your current home into maybe an assisted facility, a 55 plus facility, any type of thing like that? Now, the other pro tip on that is on the senior seminar, you can have someone sponsor it that's actually from one of the assisted living facilities. So they'll sponsor the entire event. They'll do a lot of the talking about their, what it's like to come into a new community, how it's super easy to transition, all of that fun stuff, okay? So it's a big, big, big source, all right? All right, so that is number 20, all right? So now we're gonna jump to number 19, agent-to-agent referrals. Now, with agent-to-agent referrals, what we're really trying to dial in and focus on here, and it sounds, you hear it all the time, well, you should be connecting with people across the country and you should be doing this. You know how many people actually do it? Like 2. I sell a lot of houses. I might get one email from an agent across the country that engages me and says, I'd love to be your referral partner for this city, right? Then they send me something every quarter and it reminds me of, oh yeah, that is that person, okay? Another easy way to do agent-to-agent referrals is to get into Facebook groups. There's referral network groups in every single Facebook audience, and you can get into those Facebook groups for different cities and let them know that you're here to help, right? It's time consuming, that's why nobody does it. I'm probably in, I don't even know the amount, I'm probably in 300 Facebook groups, right? 300. And I play in all of them, right? There's different things on each one of them. Investor Facebook groups, all of these things. People want to talk with like-minded people in these private groups and feel like there's something special there. I see people all the time. Who do we got in Aurora, Colorado that's looking, that's a buyer's agent? There you go, right? So big one there. And then lastly, of course, call and introduce yourself. Make a personal impact. Say, hey, look, this is this, and think about where people are coming from here, right? If we know that here in Colorado, most people are coming from California, Texas, all of the kind of surrounding area, Utah, we get a lot of, all of those areas. Well, I would start there. If you don't think that a lot of people are relocating here from New Hampshire, then don't spend a lot of time on New Hampshire, right? Think about where people are coming from that are most likely to migrate here. And I believe there's statistics on that if you just Google it, from the census and all kind of things like that. So excellent. So agent to agent referrals are huge. All right, number 18, celebrity endorsements. Now, again, with celebrity endorsements, you don't have to, you can think of anyone that's in your universe that might endorse you. You can start off with that, okay? So then you can go from there once you start, if you don't know of anybody at all, that could endorse you. And I'm talking from sports figures to radio personalities to anybody that's written a book that's obviously not like Star Wars. Maybe even that would be somebody good, but something, I love Star Wars by the way, but no hating on Star Wars. But I'm saying something that somebody's gonna find as a resource for real estate. Okay, that would be an influencer that you would look at. Now, here's the behind the scenes picture of that. You can buy influence, okay? Barbara Corcoran, that is a paid influencer for myself. Radio station people that I know are paid influencers, KOA Radio and KYG, all of these things that we pay to run these ads on, and they're not as expensive as you think, right? You can do a lot of structuring with it. All you have to do is call the radio station. All you have to do is call the TV stations. They will put you in contact. They have space to sell, and they have a list of people that will endorse you. I'm everything from political figures, Fox News, CNBC, all of these things, depending on where you line up and the demographic that you're trying to go after, right? So make sure, that is a big one when looking at trying to, you just want people to think that you're well connected, right? That's the illusion that we're trying to create. And then once you have that, you leverage it on your phone calls and in your listing appointments, right? So, hey, when we make the call, you're making a for sale by owner call, it's just so, hey, I was just calling, I just wanted to talk to you about your house. Oh, great. And well, you go into the conversation. Well, yeah. And have you seen any of our endorsements from Barbara Corcoran on TV or any of our TV commercials? Or have you heard any of our radio advertisements? Oh, yeah. No, actually, I do. I think I remember hearing you. Oh, yeah, that's me. That's who I am. Yeah. So I'd love to come over. Think about how many buyer leads I get from those commercials and or radio advertisements. Think about how I'm going to use that to get people in your home. Okay. So any type of endorsement you can get is powerful. All right, so going in, we covered number 17. That's also covered in the radio and TV ads, right? And then not only do you use the endorsement, but now you're marketing it everywhere. Okay, so it's on your website. You're putting it on your flyers, your brochures. These people have followings. These radio DJs, these personalities. They have followings of people that religiously watch them and follow them and want to work with people that person recommends. It's very important to them. So yeah, make sure that looking at that bucket that you're focusing on, how can I use it and squeeze every bit of juice out of it as I'm starting to move forward with it. Okay. So perfect. All right. Now, number 16, this is a big one, okay? Setting up your YouTube channel and utilizing video to have massive success, okay? Now, again, we could spend a ton of time on this, an entire session, but you're gonna utilize video in the simplest format. Number one, you need to be able to document you going into properties and doing property tours. People love property tours. They love property tour videos 1,000 times more than they like property tour photos. I see some of you out there on fire, just lighting up Instagram with photos. If you would just take one more second and do a video of what you're looking at and you explaining it and talking through it, your amount of visibility on that property will go through the roof, because photos all blend together. They all become the same. People love video. So your property tours, you start there. It makes you look successful. It makes you look at like you're out in the market all the time. That's an easy one to do. The second is your elevator pitch. Okay, so this is your 30-second promo on why people should use you to list their home. Now, we use this video in a number of ways. Number one, when you are setting a listing appointment, you send an email and you create that little video link and have them include it in that email, so they get to build a personal bond, so they don't no-show you or cancel the appointment. They go, wow, that person looks like a legit human being. That video intro made me understand that, yeah, I think I could see myself vibing with them. Now, if in your video you're wearing, no shirt and your hair's all jacked up and you look crazy, well, that's not going to work, right? You're selling an image of what people want to see. Okay. So that's going to be what we call your elevator pitch. You're basically, here's my intro of who I am. The other useful point of that YouTube video is you send it in text messages to clients. So here's a pro tip. You're calling expired listings tomorrow. You're calling for sell by owners tomorrow. You don't get them on the phone. You send them a text video with you explaining why you're such a great asset to help them get their home sold. You think your competition's doing that? Few of us are, but it's few and far between. And nobody's ever as consistent as you think they are, because that's human nature. People just aren't consistent. People aren't doing it on Saturday and Sunday. People aren't doing it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when everybody else is already out and at happy hour having a good time, right?
Hey,
So,
Brendan, this is Dennis.
Hey, Dennis.
I got a question for you. Aren't there legal issues in showing other people's properties online? I've heard all kinds of stories about that kind of made me hesitant to go walk through other people's properties without their permission.
Sure. Yeah. So great question. And Dennis, as I always say on every call, I am not the person to ask that to. That would be your employing broker. I can only tell you do what's legal, but I can only tell you what I do. Right. So yeah, it's a great question, Dennis. I honestly don't know the legalities of it. I've never had an issue with it. I can say that. I'm going to knock on wood here. I've never had an issue, but you're right. I just had this brought up in another class I was teaching yesterday, and they asked me the same thing. The easy way around this is just to pre-call the agent ahead of time or shoot them a quick email if you think that there's going to be any uncomfortable, backlash that they're going to provide you. But most agents want as much exposure on their listings as humanly possible. Now, if you're taking a video of the wife's underwear drawer, that's probably a different story. There's probably going to be some issues there, or personal things, names, these types of things and stuff like that. So yes, great question, Dennis. I'm not the person to ask. So check your local market, check your employing broker, be safe out there. But great question. So informational video, then the next video check down that you're going to have after that is what we call info, basically your info video. So you're going to take every subject that a client has a possible question about. So what is FHA financing? Do a 45-second, minute-and-a-half video on explaining what is FHA financing. Post that on your YouTube channel, share it to all your social media. People will eat it up, right? I have a video out there right now that has 9,200 views explaining the seller's property disclosure. The seller's property disclosure, right? It's literally a minute and 20 seconds long, 9,288 views as of this morning. Fascinating. Now, in that, it's not just the views. I get to, of course, give my phone number, give myself as a resource, and in the bio below, all the links of them going to my website, them going to everything that we need to connect, right? So it's extremely powerful weapon. I mean, weapons aren't right, tool to have in your toolbox or arsenal if it's a weapon. So yeah, if you're not, this is the one thing that I can say. I will sit here and I will tell you, I could sit here and tell you I make $1 million from YouTube every year. And I could tell you that, and I could say it takes you about 2 hours a week to really focus on it, probably 6 hours when you're starting out, and no one will do it. That's why there's so much opportunity in it. because you have to get out of your head, get away from your little demons and say, I'm fine with looking stupid in front of a camera. I can tell you, I do it every day, right? And at the beginning, I was like, man, I look real stupid. And my buddies were making fun of me. They still do. I go, ha ha, I make more money than you. That's the real joke on you, right? So get out of your head. It's super, it's uncomfortable, it's weird, but it passes. It all passes in time. You have a question, Anna?
Yeah, well, actually, and I just wanted to kind of add to it, and I think this is the perspective we have to keep in mind. Video is not going anywhere, and if anything, COVID has ramped up the timeline for us utilizing video in business. So they're projecting that a majority of the internet traffic in the next 2 years, 90% of it will be video based. So there's a huge opportunity. You'll either decide to take the bull by the horns and get very good at it until we hit that 90% threshold, so you're above the curve, or you'll opt the other way and say, I'm uncomfortable, I've never done this before, I don't look good in front of a camera, and you'll be behind the trends come a year or a year or two in the future. So keep that in mind. It's not going anywhere. Video is king, we know that, and marketing is its queen. So those go hand in hand.
Beautifully said. And the pro tip on this is, remember, audio quality is more important than the video. Your video can look like poo, but as long as they can hear you, you're great, right? So don't get in your head about, man, I'm, this, that, or the other. This lapel mic that I'm wearing, again, $29, Amazon. It's a game changer. It makes the audio quality sound great, even on Zooms, obviously, like how I'm doing now. You plug it into your phone, you have a tripod for your phone, or have your buddy hold the phone, or buddyette, whatever it is, and you go to work, okay? That's all it is. Document. People want to live through your eyes, and it's fascinating, and it's free. That's the other, it's free. Let's well, except $29 for the mic. But besides that, it's free. So definitely crush it on that. And then the last one, then I'll go on to number 15, is to do building and neighborhood video spotlights, okay? So basically you go to a building, you make a 4-minute video, you splice it together using iMovie or the most unsophisticated tools you can. You can Google this and go and watch a YouTube video about how to splice together different clips in 2 seconds. It's super easy. And you do a video of the lobby, a preview of a unit, if you get permission, like Dennis said. You do the amenities, you do a history about the building, splice it all together, share that on your social media. People love to look inside buildings. Glass House, One Lincoln, even smaller buildings, especially in Cap Hill, because they're curious and it's like, what's the average price point? And could I see myself living there? All of that stuff. Then if you're doing a neighborhood, same concept, except you're going to preview different homes in that neighborhood, or at least one. You're going to show them where the hiking trails are, the school, the pond, the lake, the bars and restaurants, or feature a bar and restaurant in that neighborhood. People eat them up, right? So video is huge. Again, video, can't say enough about it. It is your friend. It is your probably single least expensive tool that you can do. Just got to get over it and start doing it. Cool. All right. Number 15. Oh, the success in other people's misery, right? It's a beautiful thing. So we know that people are going to get divorced, right? Especially during COVID. They now realize they hate each other's guts. The houses, brought them together, which has torn them apart. It's unfortunate, but you're there to help them through this trying time. Okay. So easiest way to build relationships with divorce attorneys: call them and give them something of value. Okay. So value to a divorce attorney would be any type of packet or information that's going to make it easy for when they have clients that they can hand to somebody and say, here's all the things to think about during the home selling process if you guys decide to part ways. Now, remember, with divorces, you at times are going to possibly get one seller and 2 buyers. So that's 3 properties from one separation, right? Now, people go, oh, I don't want to do that. It's a nightmare. I worked with this divorced couple once and they wouldn't even talk to each other. Yes, it is tough. You're going to need a special set of skills. You will become a counselor. You will become a hotline for their anger. But who cares? You're going to get paid. and you're going to help them get to where they want to go. You didn't cause the divorce, right? So be there to help them get through this and pick up those pieces and really move forward. So divorce attorneys are huge. Now, if you call a divorce attorney and be like, hey, this is Brendan, I was curious, I'd love to be your agent to sell all your divorce people's houses. So can we get together and talk about that? What do you think they're going to say? Pretty much no. That's probably what you're going to hear a lot of. First of all, even trying to get them on the phone, good luck, right? So you're going to start out personalizing a handwritten note, a package to them, some sort of here's who I am and here's how I can help you. And I specialize in separating couples, and you send them something of value. Then that's going to end up with the secretary. She's going to read it. Depending on the level of quality of what you send, it's either going to go in the trash or somewhere. If it makes it through to the person, then you wait and you call and you follow up in about a week to a week and a half and just say, I wanted to make sure you got that informational packet. I'm not sure if you're already working with an agent that specializes in divorced couples or separation properties, but it's one of the things that I take a lot of pride in my sensitivity and care has helped a lot of people. I'd love to have a meeting on how we can make this a win-win situation for the both of us. I've got availability today at 4. Is tomorrow at 1 work better for you guys? Or tomorrow at 3 or next week at 2, whatever it might be. Okay. So it's a big one, right? And again, right now you're thinking, I don't want to do it. That's why it's so valuable, because everybody else isn't doing it. So it's there for the taking. Okay. Moving on. Oh, froze up here. All right. Number 14, retirement communities. This is just an absolute heaven. Okay. So not only retirement communities, assisted living facilities, like we talked about before. So this is very similar to the attorney situation, right? Or the divorce attorney, where you're going to build a relationship with different people at these facilities, and you're going to make a packet that's going to make their life easier. So the packet could include things to think about when downsizing into an assisted living facility, recommendations for movers, recommendations for packing companies, because usually most people at that state in their life, they need assistance. Their biggest fear is how they're going to pack up all their stuff. They might need an estate sale recommendation because they're going into this. So if you can provide an informational packet to the assisted living facilities point of contact, and over time, build this relationship with them. As soon as somebody calls the assisted living facility, that assisted living facility, she's going to hang up with them, call you and be like, look, I just talked to Susie Swanson. They're thinking about doing this. Give them a ring. I think you guys would be a great fit. Easy peasy. Okay. So think about how many people are going to be turning that age in the next couple of years, right? Where the point of whatever it is, 90, 180, whatever people are at that point. It's different for everybody, and they're going to need that assistance. Okay. So it's a big, big, big group of people there. Okay. Number 13, direct mail. Okay. So direct mail seems pretty obvious. Okay. This just goes back to something that I don't think people still really believe that much in, but I can tell you, and there might even be people on this call that are doing 80, 90 sales a year from their farm, right? We have a lot of amazing agents that are dominating neighborhoods where they're sending over 4,000, 6,000, 10,000 pieces a month to their farm, generating this kind of business. So the reason people don't do it is they never get started. So the way to start your direct mail empire and your farm empire, it's probably one of the ways to explain it. I'm going to talk about another use of direct mail here in a second, is to start small, right? Start with 100, then add another 100, then add another 100. Don't get so caught up in the what should I mail and who should I mail to. Just start somewhere and start today, right? And then just mail them once a month for the rest of your life. That's the commitment that you're making to this project. Okay. You can't mail to it. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to jump in and just say, I think you can also use this concept. Let's go back a couple of slides and talk about the agent to agent referral. You meet someone in the agent to agent referral network, they refer you business, put them on that 8x8 touch, right? Remind them that you are the person they should be referring business. So that direct mail piece can be really kind of expanded throughout all of these other different types of lead sources. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it really makes a big difference in doing exactly that. Now, that's the one way for the direct mail. Then you've got your 33 touch or whatever, 40 touch, 50 touch, whatever touch system you're doing to direct mail to your database. Okay. Now, the direct mail system that we use, we do 12 mailers, 6 quirky, 6 informational. When I say quirky, things that are fun and just kind of quirky, I don't know how else to say it. And then 6 informational things about the real estate market every other month. Okay, so we get the left brain and the right brain. Then, in addition to that, we have 5 touches a year that are customized to that specific person. So Mother's Day card, Father's Day card, birthday, house anniversary, their anniversary if you know it. Whatever is going to make them stand out and be like, wow, how thoughtful was that? Now that I think about it, we should give them a call because I do think we're getting ready to start, looking at downsizing this house. Let's at least get them on the phone and talk to him or her. Okay. So big one, easily probably one of the ones that is also least utilized because again, there's a lot of startup cost in doing this. Well, not a lot in this fact if you're going to start with small, but it does take cost and you don't see the reward for a deferred amount of time. You might not get your first deal from this for 7, 8 months. So people quit right when they're probably about to really get good because they go, I didn't get anything for 6 months, forget it. Okay, so direct mail is huge. All right, now start number 12, start a meetup group, okay? Now, this obviously with COVID is a little bit funky now, but it's still very active and live. When I was starting out in real estate, this was one of my biggest business sources, period, end of story. I didn't enjoy doing it because I'm an introvert and I didn't like having to be around people I didn't know, but I knew that I had to meet people I didn't know that had a shared mindset as I did. So I started out by going to a bunch of meetup groups. And if you're not familiar with Meetup, go to meetup.com. They have COVID sessions right now. There's a meetup group for chess, Xbox, underwater basket weaving. I mean, you would be amazed the subgroups of people that like to get together and play Dungeons and Dragons and play, whatever you're into. There's some other weird out there that likes the same stuff you do, right? So find that network, get weird with them, introduce yourself, and over time, they'll trust you to be their preferred real estate agent to get their home sold, okay? So one of the things, and I always tell this story, I used to go to a bunch of meetup groups. I'd go to hiking, mountain biking, hiking, fly fishing, all of these different things. And then I was like, well, that's cool, but I didn't have a lot of control over it. So I said, okay, I'm going to start my own meetup group. And I was like, all right, what do I like and what would probably attract a lot of people? I was like, I like drinking and having happy hour. And I like having top shelf liquors and whiskeys and sakis and all this. So I created a meetup group that was called Top Shelf. We would meet every month at a restaurant. The restaurant would sponsor the event and we would try whatever that restaurant was known for. So for example, here in town at the time, it was like Izakaya Den. So we did a sake tasting that they provided for free because they wanted to promote the restaurant. So I had the meetup group. You go there, you start having a couple sakis, people get pretty loose. It was a lot of fun, a lot of weird came in there. And from that, a lot of conversations. And again, since I was the host, I got to talk to everybody, right? Because I was the host. Everybody wanted to talk to the host. So every month we would go to a different restaurant, and I did this for a long time. It got so popular and so big that I created a website for this, and this was years ago, that I started selling ad space on, that I was making money from the top shelf booze that we were sponsoring that month that we were trying. We had one at the Four Seasons when it opened up, and the general manager thought that I was so legit that he did a private tour with me of the Four Seasons just so I could promote it to my top shelf group. That's how crazy this stuff is, right? So I was like, and I thought it was hilarious. Like I had a special guest pass that said press. Like I was loving it and I was cracking up. And it just shows you perception is reality, right? Whatever you want to put out there. So again, was it painful? Yes. Was there some weird people that came from, all over? Yes. But all those people at some point had some interest in buying or selling real estate or knew someone that did, right? So yeah, that's a big group. Leverage your passion, right? And maybe if it's not in your passion, leverage your hobby. And until you figure out what you're into, you might not even know what your hobby is yet. Use Meetup to figure out what you're into. Get out there and do a bunch of weird stuff. It'll definitely pay out. This business is all about meeting people. That's all it comes down to at the end of the day. And those that meet the most people and build the relationships have the most success. All right. Number 11. Here is a really good one that I think you're going to love for right now. Email your entire database two questions. Number one, should you wait to buy, right? So if you email them, so, hey, I'm getting a lot of questions about should you wait to buy? And that's all you put in there. So if you have questions about that, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about all the details of where the market is right now, okay? Then, should I wait to sell or should you wait to sell? Send out an email to your entire database. Hey, John, it's Brennan. Hey, I've been getting blown up with questions from so many other clients that I have. Is now the right time to sell? So I wanted to connect with you. Just make sure if you have any questions, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about it. That's it. And I mean, you want to talk about responses. Now, can you do this through social media? Yes, but you can't do it as your first message in social media. So the first message you would do in social media is, hey, Susie, how's everything going with COVID? Oh, great, blah, 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 blah. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, I hope you and little Skippy and Roger and all the little kiddos are fine. That's great. Then wait a week or two, then send them this message. So, hey, Susie, I'm glad to hear everything last week is going good. I've been getting a lot of questions about, and then pose the question there. Okay. So remember, and you can do that also with the email to your clients. You want to warm them up. Now, if this is people that know you and you talk to them pretty on the regular, then you can go straight to the question. But make sure the way you're phrasing it is critically important. I've been getting a lot of questions from all my other clients about, should I wait to buy in this current COVID market? Okay, cool. All right. So sample email. We've got that here. We're going to post a lot of this stuff in the chat box, links to it, the slides, all of that fun stuff. But when we look at the emails, the scripts, all of that, we have an entire script book that answers that question. So if you're like, well, because some of you might sitting here going, I don't know, is it a good time to buy or should they wait to sell, right? If you don't know the answer to that, we have a script that's designed for both. And the answer is very simple when you really start thinking about it. The answer is it depends on their situation, right? So go and check out the scripts. We have it. And again, that's not the script, but the script breaks it down. You can find that at brendanbardick.com. We've got everything there, over 70 different objection handlers, scripts, dialogues, all for free. So go there, get the script book. I'm telling you, it's a game changer for your business. All right. So, and again, here is, some of the sample scripts that we were talking about. And Anna, we can probably, I'm just trying to make sure I stay good on time, but let's do the should I wait to sell. So Anna, I'm going to make Anna the agent because she loves when I do that to her. And then I'll be the potential seller. So Anna, you know what? Thanks for calling. So should I wait to sell?
Great question, Brendan. Let me ask you this. If it were the perfect situation, when would you like to have your current home sold and when would you like to be in your new home?
Well, I mean, we'd really like to be in the new home prior to the end of the year, right? Like we'd love to, but just really nervous about what's going on with the COVID situation.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Brendan. So there are two things we need to consider. We can't sell your home if you are not on the market, right? And if we wait to sell, so will the competition. And when this all blows over, as it will, there will be a flood of homes hitting the market, driving prices down. Brendan, you do want to net the most money possible for your home, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We need every dollar.
Excellent. If you're comfortable meeting in person, I'll be in your neighborhood this afternoon at 4, or would tomorrow at 1 work better for you?
Cool. Yeah, let's do tomorrow at 1. Yeah, so
Okay.
give her a hand, a virtual hand. You know, that's always intimidating to rip a script in front of a bunch of people. And then if she's not, then if not, I can send you a Zoom link, or we can FaceTime if you prefer to meet virtually. Which do you prefer, right? And that would be that last closer. So this works like just straight fire. I mean, it really is extremely powerful, because right now someone in your database is thinking about selling. I guarantee it. Either something happened with their job, something's going on, they're ready to rock and roll. Okay. So yeah, so focus on that. Those are available. And that brings us to now breaking into the top 10. So we've got internet lead sources, right? The one that makes everybody else rich. Okay. So I still have it in my top 10 because, again, it works. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of different thoughts here about how it works and if you should do it and what to focus on. So at the top there, if I'm paying for internet lead sources, in my personal situation, I always want to be in control over it, and I want to get all of the results and all the other wonderful things that come from me making my own internet leads happen. So the first one on there you see is pay-per-click, right? PPC. So in order to have pay-per-click, you need to have a website and you need to be driving business. And all a pay-per-click means is you're running an ad on Google that says, interested in buying a home in Denver, click here to search all homes for free, right? That's the easiest, simple ad on earth for buyers. Okay, so, and remember, a lot of buyers are sellers, so don't want to forget that. And I'm going to come back to this in a second, why that's important, because I learned a lot of doing this over time. So you post that ad, they land on your website, specifically for the area that they're looking for. Hopefully you have an area landing page. So if they're looking for homes in Littleton, they land on your homes in Littleton, and there's available homes there for them to see. Then when they go to click on a home, they get to see the first one for free. They go to look at another one. They get what's called forced registration. That asks them, it says, glad you're enjoying our website. To make sure you have the best user experience, all we need to do is have you get registered so you can get the most updated listings on a regular basis. Please put in your information, okay? You're gonna get the goofballs that are gonna put in, Brendan@mickeymouse.com and all this stuff. But for the most part, we get a lot of leads from it, and we call that lead and convert it into business. Okay, that's the simple path of the pay-per-click. Now, the reason you want to focus on buyer lead generated pay-per-click is because with seller leads, they're very, very difficult to do, because it's very rare that somebody's going to type in, sell my home in Denver, who should I use? Number one, because most people, what they want to do is they want to look at buying before they decide to sell. So think about the psychology of a seller. It's very rare that the seller just says, I'm selling and that's it, right? That's a very small percentage. 80% of all sellers are going to buy. So the first step in their process is to go look at properties online. So you want to capture them there. A lot of people spend money on, what's your home worth? And I'm not saying we don't do what's your home worth ads and that stuff. We don't spend a lot of money on it, because most of them are sitting there in their underwear, 2 o'clock in the morning, curious what their house is worth. They have no real desire to sell. Now, you create a long-term marketing plan for them with workflow emails and text campaigns and all that stuff. That's a whole nother class, but it's a longer-term play. If you're looking at houses right now, you're probably interested in buying something, which means you need to sell to get there, okay? So Facebook ads, you can do the Facebook 26. Basically, every single day when you're on Facebook, you're taking the letter of the alphabet, 26 letters in the alphabet, and you're messaging people in your Facebook that simple question we had before. The COVID, hey, are you doing okay? And hey, I've had a lot of people reach out to me about if now's the right time to buy. I wanted to be here as a resource if you had any questions. Do you have any questions? So again, if it's the first of the month, you're calling all your A's. The second of the month, all the people that's last name starts with B, so on and so forth. okay? Unless they live in another area, which probably doesn't make much sense, okay? Unless they're an absentee owner. All right, Instagram, Google business page, all of these things are gonna help you produce business. Google business page right now, if you're not utilizing it, it's a game changer. Get on there, it's free, get your reviews, start posting on it on the regular. It'll make you come up in everything. When anybody does type in, find a realtor, it'll have you come up in the search engine optimization, or it'll have your search engine optimization a lot more prime for you to come up in those search results. All right, then some of the other ones. So ZBuyer, these are companies that do, now on this bottom right here, are companies that do this for you, but charge you a premium. Everything on the upper thing that I just talked about, Instagram, Facebook, Facebook 26, pay-per-click, is things that you can do, and you're gonna cut out the middleman, which means you can spend almost double on your ad spend, okay? But people go, Brendan, I don't have the time. Gosh, if that isn't the lie of all realtors on earth, okay? If you don't have the time, wake up at 4:30. Boom, you just got the time. Congratulations, I just gave you 2 more hours to focus on your pay-per-click advertising. Well, Brendan, I didn't go to school for this. You think I went to school to figure out how to do this? I have a GED. I don't even know, I can barely drive a car, let alone do pay-per-click advertising, right? But all I did is I watched a YouTube video of some other guy that did it, and I just stopped and paused all the way through each YouTube video, and I was like, okay, so now I click here, watch the YouTube video, okay, click here, okay, watch the YouTube video, and that's it. This is not rocket. They want you to think it. Zillow, Realtor.com, they want you to think it's rocket science so they can take all your money. You're paying for convenience. That's all you're paying for, and you're paying a lot for that convenience. So get educated, right? We have our morning mastery program, MASTERY, right? Anna can also post a slide of that at some point, where it really breaks down how you can improve your mornings and master these types of things and not make it kill you, or at least, I don't think it'll kill you. It'll make you smarter, and you'll probably be a little tired by noon, but you'll get used to it, right? So paid is fine. All of this is fine. It's what are you really looking at long-term? Now, the other thing that I'll make the comment on for internet listing lead sources is to make sure if you're paying the money for this, you gotta get them into a database, because we know the conversion rate on these is about 600 days on average. The average internet lead, average, I'm talking Zillow, Realtor.com, pay-per-click, all of these things, it takes 600 days to convert. So if you don't have a website that has email workflow campaigns, automated text campaigns, or you don't have to have the website, but you better make sure you're darn well prepared to stay following up with these people over time, whatever your system is, you're just gonna be lighting money on fire. Because here's what everybody does. The Zillow rep calls you up and he goes, oh my gosh, this new zip code just opened up. It's amazing. I can't believe you're gonna be able to get into it. It's an unbelievable deal. You go, oh my gosh, I better do this. It's only $4,000 a month. $4,000 a month. Okay, well, how many leads do I get? You're gonna get about 10. Okay, wow, that seems expensive, but sounds cool. Okay, so then I get those leads, you get them, they don't do anything in the first 3 months, 6 months. And so you give Zillow $4,000, you shut it off because you go, that was crap. Those leads were worthless waste of my time. And there you go, right? So you've got to make sure all of this is a long play. It's a long play for the internet leads, 600 days. Then once you build up that database, you'll just crush it. Then the other thing is to just make sure you're not turn and burn. Now you're paying all this money for the internet leads. You're having all this success. You're crushing it. You're feeling good. You're number 3 or number 2, number 1 in your office. And you're like, all right, I'm going to buy more internet leads. No, that is where the mistake is. Don't buy more internet leads. Buy more leverage, right? Do you think it makes more sense to spend $4,000 a month on, or $5,000 a month on Zillow leads, or a human being that can sit there and make calls for you all day long and have great success that way? So use them until you don't need them, if you're going to use them at all. Okay. So I got a lot of, I get a lot of feedback on this. People are like, Brendan, well, you don't understand. Like Zillow changed my life. And, I know this guy in Colorado Springs, he spends 50 grand a month on Zillow and he's selling, 300 homes. Tell him to show me his P&L. I would love to see his P&L, right? His profit and loss. Don't worry about what the other people are doing. You don't need to sell 2,000, 4,000 homes. depending on where you're at, you need to sell a certain amount of homes with the highest profit margin possible. This is a profit business, not an ego business. And you always have to check yourself and remind yourself of that. Okay. All right. So we also include the script on what to say to internet leads, right? So again, go to our script book on brendanbarter.com. I'm not going to go through it right now based on time. But again, make sure that you have a script so you don't miss anything. Okay. All right. Number 9, affiliated business partners. Okay. So this is anybody on earth that you do business with. Okay. So this is going to be, and how do you find them? Well, first of all, anybody that you do business with or that you want to start reciprocating business with. Okay. So here's the pro tip that I'm going to give you today. And this is a big one. This will also change your business. To start building affiliated business partners, you're going to do a once a month business spotlight video of their business. So business spotlight. So we do it every 25th of the month for us. That's the date that we do it. We follow a program called the 10-25-90, right? The combination to having massive success. I teach a whole class on it, 10-25-90. Every 10th of the month, we have a, I believe it's D, Anna. Thank you. Every 10th of the month, we have a giveaway. Every 25th, we have a business spotlight. And every 90 days, we do a client appreciation party. It's still D again, Anna. Sorry, we got somebody that's probably pocket unclicking. There we go. Thank you so much. So on the 25th, if you want to build affiliated business partners, you do a quick 4 or 5 minute video about that business and why they're fantastic. So it's you sitting there with a tripod, sitting next to them, right? And you're just going, so hey, Charles, tell me about, so your whole accounting business, you've been an accountant for how long now? Oh, 15 years. Well, tell us, why would my clients out there want to utilize you for all their accounting business? And let them tell you why they're so great. And then, Tom, tell me, where can they find you? What's the best way to connect with you, doing all this? And you can do some B-roll shots if you want to get fancy and do all this, but you could just do just that. Post it on all your social media, tag them in every post. They're going to be so jazzed that somebody gives a darn about them. They're going to share it to all of their friends and be like, hey, check me out. I just got featured in this business spotlight from, this amazing real estate agent. What do you think is going to happen in return when somebody asks them, hey, so do you know of a good real estate agent, Mr. Accountant, that I could trust? Oh my gosh, you know what? Boom, boom, boom. Now you take that, you match it up with your direct mail marketing, they get added to your 33 touch, right, system, right? Because you stalk them or get their home address, however you want to do it. I stalk everybody, get everybody's home address, and I stay in front of them for the rest of their life. Okay. Now that's a great pro tip. Now, if you want to find affiliated business partners to work with, call your database. Right? So, hey, Susie, it's Brendan. Hey, we're doing this really new cool thing. It's called a business spotlight. I feature a local business every month. I know that you're a school teacher, so it'd probably be a little hard. I don't think you probably need any more kids, right? Haha, whatever, right? She's like, oh, that's so funny. No, we don't need more kids. That's great. Then I'm gonna be like, well, Susie, do you know of anybody that I could do this feature spotlight on that you trust, that you think is an amazing business? A mechanic, a flower shop, a hairstylist. They're going to say, oh my gosh, my hairstylist is absolutely phenomenal. Fernando is the best in the business. He's absolutely amazing. You should definitely talk to him. Think about that warm invite. I talked to Susie. She said she gets her hair done at your place. She says, you're absolutely amazing. I was wondering if you'd be interested in being featured in my local business spotlight. I have a huge following on social media. Even if you don't, still say that. Right? I have a huge following on social media. I can get your name and your company in front of a lot of people. So I just wondered if you'd be interested, because I love featuring people that my clients trust. I love featuring people that my clients trust. You just added another person to your database. Think about it. You didn't even really do anything, and you made them feel special. Think how cool that is. You're making people feel special, and you're doing business. It's fantastic. Why don't people do it? Because it takes a little bit of effort. It takes a little bit. Now, then you start making some money and you go, look, I don't want to do it half, with my cell phone or any, half cocked. I want to do it, more professionally. Then you bring in somebody that's a videographer that's amazing, that can do a lot of these things at a much higher level than you, right? Right now, guess who's not making a lot of business? Wedding videographers. How many weddings have you been to lately, right? So call up the wedding videographer, be like, look, what would you charge to do this business spotlight? It's literally a 5-minute video. You meet me at this place, you do the videotaping, you edit it, I'll pay you $200, $500, $900, whatever level of quality you're gonna be paying for. Awesome. Find somebody in film school, find a high school kid who's more technical than you that loves this stuff, whatever it takes, okay? Affiliated business partners is huge. Anyone you're giving business to should be reciprocating that back to you, right? If you go to the dry cleaner, ask her if you can put your cards on the counter. If they have a bulletin board, can you put them there, right? Anywhere you go, look at everybody that you spend money or give money to. How can they return the favor to you? Okay? How can they return it to you? But here's the thing, you can't ask them to. The biggest thing about this, and the other pro tip on number 9 with affiliated business partners, is you have to come from a place of service. You can't go do the business spotlight and be like, so now that I did that, yo, will you send me some deals? Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. You never bring up that you're doing this to finagle business out of them, because then you look like a scumbag. That's not what we're trying to do. We're building relationships.
So Brendan, this is Dennis again. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You go ahead, you shoot a video promoting this new business partner, whatever, you put it on social media and all this other stuff. Then do you go ahead and put it on your web page where other people can access it who maybe never seen your social media deal or whatever?
Absolutely.
So
You put it right on your blog page, which is a perfect place to have it. And it helps your search engine optimization, because when somebody types in Fernando's salon, right, or whatever they type in, that it's going to come up because there's going to be a link to his website for their salon on your blog page, and it's going to bring you more attention and bring you up in the ranks of Google. So yeah, great point, Dennis. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you want to post this everywhere. And remember, video works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't get sleepy. It doesn't go in the trash can. It works 24 hours a day for free, right? Just got to do it. All right, so cool. Good, we're perfect on time. All right, so here's another script for affiliated business partners. If you're not doing the business spotlight, very simple script, again, available at brendanbardick.com. You can go there, check out all the amazing things that we have available for free. And then again, check out our advanced coaching, our group coaching programs. You really want to, we're giving you an hour and a half of this. To master a lot of these, you got to take a deep dive. So again, check out all the sources we have there. Let us know if there's anything we can help you with to advance your career, but all these scripts will be there for you. All right. Past clients, sounds like a no-brainer. I'm going to talk about a few things, what people do really wrong with past clients and really well, okay? So obviously where to find them. Again, I can talk from experience because I'm not only the president, I'm a member, right? So a lot of this I learned along the way from screwing it up, okay? So when I look at past clients, a lot of us, especially if you're doing a lot of business, you close the deal and you're already moving on to the next, okay? With your past clients, the whole point of this is to help them build wealth through real estate, okay? With past clients, it's not the one sale, it's the 20th sale. So after the first 30 days, I'm gonna call them up and be like, hey, I hope you enjoy the home. Brendan, the microwave broke. The microwave broke? Oh my gosh, what can I do to help you? Do you need recommendations for new microwaves? Whatever it is, right? People are scared to call because you're gonna get all this drama. That's kind of the point. If you help them, don't you think they're gonna wanna help you in the future? So That's the first step. Call them in after the first 30 days of closing, okay? Now, into that conversation. So I'm so excited. I'm glad that, you're in the new home and settled. John, I just wanted to ask you real quick, have you given any thought to building your real estate portfolio and building wealth through real estate? It's a simple question, right? It's either going to be a yes or a no. If it's a no, okay, excellent. Well, I completely understand. Do you happen to know of anybody else that I might be able to assist? And by the way, I'm having an investor seminar in 45 days, September 15th, that I'd love to have you come to or have them come to. Who else do you know that might be interested? Because the market's insane right now. So many opportunities, okay? So that's the big thing. Now, as we said earlier, with your direct mail, your 33 touch client for life system that we teach a whole nother class on called Market Your Way to Millions, that you can definitely attend and try to learn some of these techniques. But with the 33 touch, one of your cool touches can be over time, books on investing in real estate. We already talked about sending them one to try to get them to the seminar. Imagine if once a year you sent a client a book on investing in real estate. $10 a year. Eventually they're going to be like, you know what, we got to do something. The stock market just tanked. I'm not putting my money into any of this other stuff. We really need to start thinking about passive income so we can build wealth in the future. Let's call Dennis and put him to work, right? So $10 a year, right? To make 10 grand in 2 or 3 years. I'll take that ratio any day of the week. But again, why don't we do it? Takes a little bit of planning, takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of effort. If you don't have the money to send the book, just make the phone call. That's the other big thing. So again, social media, LinkedIn, all of those things. Now, the other thing with your past clients is if you're doing the 10, 25, 90, every 10th of the month a giveaway, right? It could be a Starbucks card. This month we're doing a bike. Last month we did a Yeti cooler. There's a whole script and a technique that we teach on how to do this and why the giveaway is so powerful and it makes you a bunch of money, but again, for another class, okay? But so on the 10th, you have a reason to call your past clients to ask them if they're gonna register for the giveaway. So, hey, we're giving away this amazing bike this month. It's super cool. Susie, I wanted to make sure that you could register and tell everybody about it. As long as they live here in the local Front Range area, they can register. It's absolutely phenomenal. And by the way, how you doing? Oh, blah, 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 great, okay. Well, Susie, also, I'm getting a lot of requests for people that are wanting to move into your neighborhood. I just wanted to double check again. You wouldn't do this call every month, but once in a while, wanted to check in again. If you guys were to move, where would you guys go next? Where would you and Tom go next? Well, I guess I didn't think about it, Brennan, but we are thinking about maybe moving to Minnesota because there's a new Amazon factory there, and John could definitely take a job there, and we have some family in Illinois, and whatever. And you're just putting all your notes in, updating my statuses, following up with going, okay, great, this person's going to be ready at this time. Great, this person I need to send them a CMA. Great, whatever it is. So talking points for your past clients. You can't call up your clients and be like, I used to see this script and it made me want to fall over and shoot myself. You call up, hey, John, it's Brendan. Hey, I've got big goals this year for my real estate business, and I really need your help in obtaining them. Who do you know that's looking to buy or sell real estate? That was legit a script that people were using, and they were probably still having success with it. But that's so cheesy, right? So cheesy and scummy. You want to come from value all the time. So if you do a giveaway for a $50 Starbucks card, or as you start moving up a $500 bike or whatever it is, that's another touching point to stay in front of your people. Then you ask them about the business spotlight. Then you invite them to your 90-day client appreciation event. That's how you maximize past clients. That's how you build relationships and friends. A lot of people are going to be your friends. It'll be insane. They'll become family. Okay, so, all right, and we've got a script, right, for that. So again, we created a lot of these on here. Again, this is the seller seminar one. That's just an example one. We've got several others to make sure that you can call your center of influence your past clients, okay? Or excuse me, well, now leading in, center of influence. So number 7, right? We're getting close now. So center of influence, very similar to the past clients. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Again, your phone book, social media, the Facebook 26, it's all about coming from a place of value. What can I do to help you? What question can I answer? You never ask for business. You never, well, you never ask for business in the form of, hey, do you know of anybody that's looking to buy or sell? You ask for business in a much more sophisticated way where they're already doing it for you, okay? They don't even realize it, all right? So pop buys, CRMs, you know, all this stuff, social media. So number 7, center of influence, it's huge. Now, when you're looking at creating your center of influence, that's what we really want to dial in on calling our MET database. So those that are in our group coaching and our advanced elite one-on-one coaching, we spend a lot of time talking about METs, right? So qualify a MET, because you might go, look, I've got a huge center of influence. Cool. Here's how I want you to justify if they're even worth marketing to or doing anything with. Number 1, to make them a true MET, would they buy or sell real estate with you? Would they refer somebody? Would you spend $33 a year marketing to them? And then the last caveat, if you gave me their phone number and I called them up and I said, without prompting them, who's your preferred real estate agent of choice? Would they say your name? And once you realize that your entire mission in your real estate life is to have as many of those of what I just explained as possible, nothing will stop you. You don't have to make a cajillion expired phone calls and, you know, do all of this. You add 1 or 2 of those people to that category a week, shoot, a month, you're going to have a massive real estate business. But people get so all over the place that they forget that that's the main focus, and they go, buy internet leads, go door knocking today. I'm going to do an open house on Thursday. I'm going to do, and you just go random, 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 random. All you need is 500 METs to net $1 million, 250 to net 500K. Do the math. So focus on that, but do it. Now, the caveat of that is you have to put them on a 33 touch system, okay? You can't have just a big database and nobody sees you and you don't ever call them, right? It's not going to do anything, okay? All right. So we've got a script for that. Again, we've talked about it. I'm going to make sure we stay on time here because I want to get to my number 1. So NED pre-foreclosure, notice of elective demand pre-foreclosure, right? The saddest call you'll ever make is what I call that. So if you are really, this isn't for the weak of heart, right? This call. So where do you find them? You can get a list from your local title company. They're on Zillow. You'll see that little thing pop up on pre-foreclosure. You can buy the leads from foreclosure.com. Mojo provides them, the RedX, Vulcan 7, dialing systems. All of these things can do it for you, right? To pull these numbers. Now, when we're looking at that, all we're saying NED pre-foreclosure are people that are 90 days past due on their mortgage. That's what an NED pre-foreclosure is. You're going to call them up and you're going to say, I'm here to help. I had an investor reach out to me. Probably have the script here. Yeah. So we have the script. I had an investor reach out to me who's interested in buying your home. Do you have interest in selling? They're either going to say yes, no, or whatever it is. Okay. And if they say no, well, the investor wanted me to know, and you have to almost whisper it, that unfortunately you came up on a pre-foreclosure list. So I was just calling to see if the plan was to bring the mortgage current or what you plan to do with the property, right? There's going to be some emotion there sometimes. They're going to be like, I'm going to burn this mother, you know, I'm like, okay, cool. You're going to burn it. All right. Well, instead of burning it, why don't you let me sell it? The bank might offer you even some money to help you go into the new place and you'll save a little bit of your credit. Does that sound like a possibility? Right? Now, I'm joking, but that is very similar to the script, but you got to get really good at it, right? You got to get really good at it. If they say yes, go over, do the appointment, either make it a short sale or do it a regular sale, depending upon how much equity they have in the property. You're on to the next, right? So excellent. So Anna, I know we have some cool things coming up that you wanted to talk about and where people can find us.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're anything like me, I love these kind of seminars, and I take a lot of notes and I feel really motivated afterwards. And then as soon as the webinar closes, I get into this place where then it just shifts to the side of my desk and I got to keep moving with my day. And so that's very common. And we really need a lot of the support system to kind of support the things that we're trying to implement in our business. So Brendan and I have come up with a lot of different programs. So if you like this presentation, you might really be interested in our complete listing system. Brendan has put together a 42 module learning 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can access it in your underwear on a Sunday if you want to improve your listing business. He also provides elite one-on-one coaching if you really kind of want to immerse yourself in the process of taking your business to the next level. Obviously, we've shared our script and objection handlers book. We have Thursday Throwdown, what we like to call our role play on Thursdays. That happens at noon right after this. And then the other option we offer is if you want to get into coaching, but you're a little unsure, maybe it's your first time in a coaching program, we've got a group coaching option. And so I wanted to kind of just share this information. If you want to take your business to the next level, we have a lot of things that are out there to support you. And at the very least, check out our YouTube channel. There's free content. There's hours and hours of really good content that Brendan has put together for everyone. So go ahead and check that out. And if you have any questions on anything on the screen, feel free to reach out to me in the chat box, or you can email me. I'll go ahead and put my email in the chat box as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Anna. All right. So number 5, we're in our top 5 and we're going to rock these out. Okay. So just listed open house, number 5. So all this means is you or somebody in your office just listed a property and you're going to call the neighborhood, or in non-COVID, or maybe you feel comfortable doing it now, you're going to door knock the neighborhood and you're going to go, hey, especially if it's not your listing, we just listed the house at 123 Elm Street. We know that in this market, it's going to sell so fast because we already have buyers that we've been talking to about the property that we know we're going to need backup properties as soon as this one sells. So I wanted to call and see if you or anyone you know in the neighborhood might be interested in selling. I've probably made that call, I would say upwards of 20,000 times in my lifetime, right? Taken gosh knows how many listings from it, filled my database with so many people, over time of doing that from that simple, easy call. That's it. Okay. Now, why we put just listed open house? If you're doing an open house that weekend, right? So you're gonna make the same call. So, hey, I'm doing an open house this weekend. It's gonna be amazing. It's at 123 Elm Street. I was calling all the neighbors because we know the house is gonna sell super fast. First of all, would love for you to come by and take a look at it. I'd love to get your feedback on what you think about the house. That's a very important thing. I'd love to get your feedback on what you think about the house, because people love to tell you, you love to judge stuff, right? We all love to judge, right? Then you throw in there, and by the way, in addition to that, I'm actually doing a canned food drive at the house to help all the first responders and everything that's going on with the COVID situation right now. So if you have any extra canned goods, you'd like to come by, give some feedback to the house, we're doing it from 12 to 3. That's that call, okay? So Mojo, it's a dialing system. If you don't know what it is, I have a Google video that I just did on it, a YouTube video that I just explained exactly how to use it, how to maximize it, how to reduce the cost so you can share it with other agents in your office. It's a game changer. You have to have the right technology to do this job at a high level, okay? All right, cool. So Cole's directory, we gave this as an example. This is another easy one. Again, it's just finding the phone numbers, doing neighborhood searches, and smiling and dialing, okay? We also talked about the script that's included for you guys for free. And then the 7th level open house. Now, I get a lot of questions about this. I'm gonna have Anna hopefully put out the slide for this. The 7th level open house is a game changer. Don't just do a bootleg basic open house, right? Where you're like, man, it's Friday and I had lunch, so I guess I'll do an open house tomorrow. All right, well, I guess I'll grab some signs and go. Yeah, and then you're like, no one came. Well, why did you think no one came? You did nothing to advertise it. You did nothing to market it. So the 7th level open house, if you're not utilizing this in your business, it is powerful. All right, just sold. Another great one. So you make that same call using the same techniques, but the line is a little bit different. So, hey, Sally, this is Brendan with XYZ Company. We just sold the property at 123 Elm Street. It sold in 5 days for X amount of money. And in fact, right now, we have so many other buyers that we're working with. I wanted to call you and the neighbors to see if you know, or if you or anyone you know would be interested in selling. Yes, no, go screw yourself. is what you're going to get responded to, right? Update the database, whatever it is, okay? This is a quantity game. You are going to be on a headset. You're going to be walking around. You're going to be playing Nerf hoop in your office because it's brain dead. You can make this call in your car, right? Mojo, Kohl's, Vulcan 7 have all these dialers set up to do it right from your phone, and you're just burning from appointment to appointment. When you go, why are these people selling 150, 300, 500, 1,000 homes? They do this stuff. This is the stuff that they do. Now, if you go, Brandon, like I said, I never want to make a cold call in my life, then don't. You still got a bunch of other lead sources that are extremely powerful. We just know that this is the fastest way to talk to somebody about being interested or buying and selling. Okay. All right. We got a script for that. Okay. Number 3, for rent by owner. This means landlords. So you call every single person that's possibly interested in renting their property, and you provide them the alternative that instead of dealing with that stress, why not just sell the property and cash out on the equity before the market goes down? We've got a crazy election coming up. We've got a possible recession. Oh my, and if they watch, whatever news channel service, I'm not going to say which one, whichever news service one they watch, they might think the end of the world's happening. And so we're playing off of that fear, right? You don't know what's going to happen. So let's make sure you're ready by not holding this property. You've had 5 years of equity. You can quickly pull this up and see when they bought it, what they bought it for, have all that information. You can offer them a free CMA. Well, great. They go, no, I'm not interested in selling. Well, let me do this. When's the last time you had a free market analysis for the property? I'd love to shoot you a quick market analysis. What's the best email address for me to send that to? It's not even if, it's when. They're going to sell that investment property someday. It could be a year from now, 10, 15. But if you're the person that's there to help them, and here's the other pro tip, I specialize in tenant-owned properties. I specialize in tenant-owned properties, okay? So we talk a lot more about this in role play, but I want to get back to my last 2. So where do you find them? Zillow, Airbnb, Craigslist, the newspaper, property management companies. I don't know how you can't find them. People are trying to rent their stuff. Call them, give them better option, tell them to sell it before the world crashes, okay? All right. Now we're almost getting, we're gonna get to my pro tip here. I'm gonna come to my number 1. I'm gonna give you my new number 1 that's not even in this PowerPoint. So I'm glad you're sticking around. All right, so here's a pro tip. Create a list of 100 people who own properties. I notice you own several properties here in the area. Congratulations. I work with several families and investors, helping them create wealth through real estate. I'm sure you receive hundreds of these a month. They don't receive any of these a month, right? That makes them go, wait, am I weird? Am I not getting this? That's the reason it's designed that way, right? But to show you just how serious I'm about creating value for my clients, I included a detailed market analysis on each of your current properties. If there is a particular property that's underdeveloping, perhaps we can discuss alternatives. I'll follow up with you in a few days. I look forward to connecting. Love, Brendan. Okay? It's powerful, powerful. All right. So we've got the script for that. Check it out on the site. All right. Number 2, no surprise. FSBOs for sell-by owners, your friend, you know you love them. You know you're calling them every day. You know you're having massive success with them, right? This is the one that people are the most scared of. Anytime I say for sell-by owner, people are like, oh, that's not for me. The only thing I can tell you about for sell-by owners is if you're going to do it, you've got to be all in. It's, again, a long-term play. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they list with you. So you hear this all the time. All you want to do is be a resource for them, right? So you call up using our powerful script. They tell you that they're not interested in listing. I completely understand. Well, I just want to be a backup option if for some reason, in the rare chance, John, that you can't get the property sold on your own. So I'd love to come by, explain the powerful methods we use to get homes sold for top dollar. At the very least, you're going to have a little bit more information. Even if you decide not to ever use me, you're going to get some marketing ideas for yourself that are going to help you even try to get the best price for your own home. So I'll be in your neighborhood today at 4, but tomorrow at 1 work better for you. That's it. Here's what not to do with a for sale by owner. They go, do you have a buyer? You go, yes. You call up your sister, you're like, hey, I need you to be this buyer. I'm going to take you over to this house and you're going to act like a buyer and we're going to totally BS this guy. And then eventually, maybe somehow he'll think that I'm a good agent and that I have buyers for his house. You can do that, but man, that's a scummy way to live, right? I know agents that do that all the time. They bring fake buyers to for sale by owners on the reg. Do they get some of those listings? Yes. Is it a scummy way to live? Yes. Right? Don't be scummy. Come from a place of honesty. I work with a lot of buyers, but I want to make sure that I can sell your home. So I'd like to see the home and make sure I can actually help you. I'll be in your neighborhood. Okay. All right. There's a script for that. Boom. All right. Now, number one. Wait, did I miss one? Oh.
Nope, you get to just deliver this one
Gotcha.
on your own. Yeah.
Right. All right. So the old number one, and this is where we'll go, is of course expired listings, right? I built my entire business on it. It's a game changer. I'm not going to spend too much time because you guys hear it all the time. If you're serious about expired listings, go to my YouTube channel. I give you an entire breakdown on how to have success with expireds, what technology to use, how to do all of that stuff. That is powerful, right? And the reason is they've already decided to sell, they've already decided to use a real estate agent, and they've already decided to pay a commission. So why wouldn't you go after them, right? The strategy just becomes the big difference. You can't do it. You can't do it half-hearted. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You're just going to get frustrated. All right. So go check that out. Now, the new number one, man, and I'm on time and everything. The new number one. So absentee owners. Okay. Now, don't get this mistaken with for rent by owners. Absentee owners. So you go to the MLS. You go in and you go to the realist tax or whatever service you're using to find the information. You run a search on everybody that's an out-of-state owner, meaning that their home address is in a different state than the mailing address, or their mailing address, excuse me, is in a different state than the property's address, okay? You put together this list. Now, you could do this in a specific neighborhood, a specific city, however you want to put it together. And if you dial in on talking, now that's level one. So at level one, you have their address, you can mail to them. And very similar to the rent by owner, right? You're going to start marketing to them, especially with everything that's going on. Here's the thing with absentee owners, meaning that they live in a different area or state. If they do, there's usually a pain point with the rental property. Property management companies, and I'm sorry if you're one of those and you're on this call, suck. They are terrible. I get complaints about property management companies every single day that they're screwing over the owner, that this and that. So people just get tired of it. And think about it, if they're not here to personally deal with it, how easy is it to go, Brendan, just get it sold. I'm so sick of this. The tenant just lit a fire in the backyard on accident, and now I had to get a whole new patio, or a whole new whatever, right? I hear these crazy, crazy stories, right, all the time. So you're just going to be the resource, and you specialize in tenant-owned properties and absentee owners. Now remember, if I'm an absentee owner, my pain point is I don't want to startle the tenant and have the property sit vacant while you're trying to sell it. Okay? So here's the strategy that I've used for hundreds and thousands, probably not thousands, but probably 1,000 or at least so of tenant-owned occupied properties that I've sold, is you have to reassure the owner, right? Especially once you start getting into communication with them, that you're going to make this process as easy as possible for the tenants. And in fact, with the tenant, Mr. Seller, here's how we incentivize the tenant to cooperate with showings, keep the property clean and everything else. Number one, I always offer to have the unit cleaned professionally myself. Okay. So it costs me $250, whatever your cleaner charges you. I'm talking for a deep, thorough clean. The tenant's like, you're going to clean my house for free? And they're like, sweet, like, put your bong away, put all your meth away, whatever it is, just kidding. But most renters do meth. That's also another joke. I'm totally joking, right? So you're telling me to put all this stuff away, right? And then you go, look, you also explain to the seller, all right, now you can either work this into your commission, or I always just have them do it extra. So Mr. Seller, to make sure that the tenant is as cooperative as possible for us to show this property, and what I'm talking about is selling the property with the tenant in it, right? This is what I'm also talking about. What we need to do is offer them an incentive for when they decide to move out in cash for allowing us the ability to market this property while they're still in it. So maybe that's $1,000. So Mr. Seller, is it worth $1,000 to have the tenant keep the property in good showing condition, make it super nice for when people come through, make it a pleasurable experience for you to sell it and make $70,000 in equity? Would you give $1,000 to make 70 extra? Every day and twice on Sunday, right? Now, it depends on the price point of the property and where it's at. You might need to offer the tenant $2,000. You might need to offer them whatever, right? Whatever it is. The other piece with working with absentee owners and tenant occupied properties is I need to make sure that the tenant feels like we're going to make this as painless as possible. So I try to block showings into very specific times, or even at best, if you can, 1 time a week. So I go, look, Susie and John, I know this sucks. I'm sorry we have to disturb your life. You know, the owner wants to be able to, first of all, I want to get your home professionally clean, personally myself for you, just because I know this is annoying. I don't want you to have to do anything. Number 2, my seller is willing to offer you a $1,500 for the ability to do this as soon as the property closes, and we really appreciate your patience during this entire process. And number 3, I'm going to make it very convenient. So can we agree on 1 day and 1 time where we can make access to the property possible for anybody that wants to see the unit or home? So that is a big bucket, right? There are so many absentee owners sitting right there right now that are going, now think about the absentee owner right now too. Why are they so mad right now? Because they're not even getting paid rent because of COVID. You think they want to deal with this? And now they're fighting with the bank to try to get all this stuff. The absentee owner and for rent by owner market is on fire right now because people have had enough. Are you willing to go out and get it? Right? Are you willing to make that plan happen? Okay. So in closing, I hope this was extremely helpful for all of you. We always like to focus on, again, you can listen to all of this. If you don't take away something and put it into practice, again, learning without implementation is stupidity. Okay. So we always talk about action changes things. So list one thing you'd like to take on as a result of what you learned today. I'd love to see it in the chat box, right? If you could put in the chat box for us, because it shows me that you're alive. What's one thing that you're going to implement? Who are you going to attack? What lead source are you going to go after? What's one thing that you can implement today that you're going to get off of this webinar? Maybe it's going to role play at 12 o'clock because you're like, yo, my scripts are not there, right? We offer free role play. It's a group setting. It's a half hour every Thursday, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Maybe that's it, right? Maybe that you're like, I got to get these scripts going here, right? Maybe it's number 12. Maybe it's number 9. What are you going to do? Okay. And then again, I thrive off your feedback. You know, it would mean the world to us to give us a positive comment on our Facebook page, social media, so we can help other people with the same kind of mission, which is, and the reason I do this, just so everybody knows, you know, I came from nothing. I came from squat. I came into real estate literally with $98. And I know that I learned from others along the way very quickly, these inside strategies, tips, and techniques that helped me grow a massive game-changing business that has given me the freedom to travel the world, to have, you know, all these different things happening, and it's amazing. All you have to do is learn it. It's a recipe. Everything is a recipe. That's all we're looking. So I appreciate it. We'll stick around for about a few more minutes if there's any questions afterwards. And as always, well, there you go. We're going to the screen. As always, I wish all of you guys great success.